Welcome, everybody, back to the podcast, where we sit down at the table and we have a conversation. We talk about our struggles and we talk about our victories. We don't sugarcoat it here, and we keep it Christ-centered. Today, I'm blessed to have back with us on the podcast. He was with us a while ago, my brother Robbie Bibb. Thank you for joining us today, brother. Now, previously, Robbie was on talking about baptism in Jesus' name. Tremendous podcast there. Plug to a few episodes ago. If you haven't watched that one, you need to go watch that one. But today, I want to dive into Robbie. Robbie is our college and career pastor. He oversees our hyphen ministry here, and is our Filipino pastor as well, oversees the Filipino ministry here at Pop. So you wear a lot of hats, you do a lot of great things, and just an awesome man of God. But I will say that he has shared with me that the man of God that is sitting at this table right now had his struggles and had his kind of come to Jesus moments and had to really come to Christ on his own. We both agree that it's one thing, you being a pastor's kid, me being raised up in church as well, we can say that our parents can point us in the right direction, our parents can train us, but ultimately we got to make the decision for ourselves. And you got a powerful testimony, bro, and we want to talk about that today.
All
so
right.
let's dive right into it. Thanks for being here, bro.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it. Like you said, I do wear many hats, and when pastor's out, I have to throw on a few other hats at times, and I'm happy to do it. Let's get right into it. Let's dive right in. I'm excited about this one.
Same, bro, same. It's been a long time coming, boy.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it.
All right.
So start where you want to, bro. Let's talk about your testimony. Again, you're a pastor's kid. You grew up in church. You grew up seeing your dad preach.
Yep.
Your mom, very much a strategic part of all of that. Now you, your siblings, your wife, your in-laws, grandkids, everybody is now the culmination being involved in ministry.
Yep.
But I'm sure it it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
No. So we'll go ahead and dive
right.
right in, and at any point in time, stop me if we want, because I want this just to be a conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Like, let's have a talk on where Robbie Bibb came from.
Yeah.
So to start off, born in the 80s.
Yeah.
Best time, right? I was born in 1986, so
let's say Gen X and millennial, older millennial.
yes, exactly. Like I'm like barely like a millennial, right? So born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, which was a fantastic era to grow up in church.
Yeah,
it was the end of that old school Pentecost, which I'm young, but I still love a lot of that. I love where we come from. I love our heritage. So that's where I came from.
Yeah.
As far as the era, and I was that typical kid that if you caught me behind a video camera, which back in the day was a big box that my dad used to put on his shoulder, right? I was that kid that just loved preaching. Yeah. I loved preaching. But then shortly after, my little brother, Corey Bibb, who has been on this podcast before as well, he's our music director. He would quickly steal the spotlight of the camera, and he would be singing and preaching and like getting all loud. So then I would kind of drift away. But as a kid, I loved preaching. Like it was in me, right? My grandfather was a preacher. My grandmother was a preacher even before my grandfather. This would have been my grandma Bibb. So preaching was just always in the family. Yeah. Ministry was always family. That's just what we did. I didn't know anything outside of ministry. I didn't know anything outside of like my dad, working, outside. Like he had jobs, but it was always about the church. Sure. It was always about the kingdom. And to give you a little insight, and I don't want to jump around too much, but I'm just trying to paint this picture so everyone kind of gets an idea of where we're going.
Take your time.
My grandparents were all about the kingdom of God. Yeah. And I, to this day, have not met anyone that has loved people the way my grandparents loved people. Yeah. Beautiful people, like they just loved people. Yeah. And I grew up with that. I just grew up around that. And then it translated into my parents, where they just loved people, and you could see it in Pastor, right? To this day, how much he loves people. Yeah. And I felt like I had that at one point, and then I was raised, okay, now we're going to shift back over to me, and I was raised in a pastor's home. Yeah. And I started seeing things. Like I started seeing how pastors are treated, how they at times would get beat up by people verbally, right? Like I saw, where people would say things about my dad and about my mother and even about my grandfather at times. And I'm like looking at my grandparents as they're literally the most perfect people in this world.
Yeah.
And I look at my parents like all these things that are being said are not true, right? And I feel like even as a young kid, and this is now getting into like 12, 13, 14 years old, I just started getting to the point where I did not like people. Yeah. And I started going down this path where like I just was defensive towards everything, and I just didn't understand. Yeah. So talking about ministry and what all my family members do, I'm like, well, if that's associated with ministry, why would I want to be a part of that?
Yeah, and I think that's valid. There's a weight that goes into ministry.
Yeah, of course.
And you really have to be called to be a shepherd to carry that weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. And unfortunately, I think I saw too much. I heard too much. It wasn't, my parents' fault by any means. It's just when you're a pastor's kid, you're just exposed to a lot.
Kind of saw the good, the bad, the ugly.
Exactly. Yeah. So I developed this, I don't know, like this defensive-ness, sure. As a young man, which I was the firstborn, so you know what I mean?
By default setting.
Exactly. Like, you can relate. So I got to a point where I got defensive, and I went to church. I played the drums, you know what I mean? Like, and I did my part. And I put on the face. Like, I knew how to put on the facade, right? But in all reality, like, towards the end of my teen years, so we're looking at like 18, 19 years old, I got to a point where I really just didn't really want to be there anymore. Like, people were started saying things about me, you know what I mean? And things that some of it wasn't true, but some of it was. Okay. Some of it was. But it hurt me that people were like trying to find the flaws in you and trying to point them out to hurt you, right? So as a young man, I just never understood it. Like, because I was like, man, I grew up like just loving people, around a family that loves people, ministry minded, kingdom minded. But then again, like as a young man, you don't know how to differentiate association. So you associate ministry with all this ugliness, these people that are just mean and want to lie about you or bring out your faults, right? And so that's the start of where I started going down a path that didn't want any part of ministry. Didn't want a lot to do with church either. Yeah. Again, I went to church. I put on the facade. I would go. I play the drums. But even at like 19 years old, we had a youth group. Yeah. But I was like, oh, I'm too old for the youth group now. Like, I just kind of phased out of it and like stopped going to things. And plus, I had 3 siblings that are now in the youth group. Yeah. That I'm like, I'm their big brother. Like, I don't want to be in the youth of my siblings, right? Yeah, so like, my brother was driving, so he was able to take my sisters now to like youth events, and I'm like, okay, that's them now, and I'm gonna do my own thing. We didn't have a hyphen, we didn't have a college and career back then. Yeah. When you were 18, you were technically too old for youth. You know what I mean? It's just you were exactly. So, make a long story short, which I know we don't have to be in a hurry today, but I don't want to go through certain things and just to premise like to the congregation that's going to be listening in and the people that are going to be tuning in. I'm going to share with what God has placed on my heart to share, and I want to really be careful on the things and details as we get down into the conversation. Of course. What I am going to share. Of course. But I do believe like setting up the premise of where we're going is very important. Yeah. So 19, 20 years old. Okay, start working in the secular world, you know what I mean? Like understanding like, oh, wow, like there's a whole new world out there outside of church, right? Like I went to public school up until high school. Okay. My parents decided they wanted to start a church school. Yeah. So all of us were in that church school. A lot of kids from the church were in it. Some of my friends from other churches, pastors' kids, also part of that. And you probably went to a secular high school, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so like
it's a culture shock.
What I thought I was looking forward to that I didn't get to have. Yeah. But now, retrospect, I see my parents trying to protect me, right? Yeah. So in the meantime, well, when it happened,
Yeah.
I was like, I only have 4 years of school and you're taking me out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was so excited. I wanted to play sports. I wanted to, meet new people.
Yeah.
Like, so that was taken from me, which now I'm like so thankful that my parents saw something that I did not see. They were protecting me.
For sure.
But now I'm working the secular world. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, you get exposed real quick.
Yeah,
to a lot.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like the church people, right?
No.
Like, and some of it's worse. Some of the people are actually not worse necessarily, but like just the mindset of the world, everything
It's
that you're
different.
it's so different.
We're called to be set apart.
Exactly. We're called to be set apart. And I don't think I knew how to deal with it, how to cope with what I was being exposed to, right?
Yeah. That's a tough age when you're trying to find your way. Church or not, it's a tough age.
Well, my dad would probably tell you this if he was on this podcast. I was a 13-year-old trying to be a man. Sure. I was like that. I was that kid where I was 14 years old and my dad tried to discipline me and me bow up. At 14, 15 years, what was I doing, right? Exactly. At 14, 15 years old, thinking I'm a man, no one can tell me what to do, kind of mentality and attitude. Not sure where I got that. I was just a brat, and my parents handled me very well, but it's like I thought I was a man. So it being 18, now you can imagine, like, if I thought I was a man at 13, 14, 15 years old, I turned 18, I'm really a man. You know what I mean? Like, I can make my own decisions. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. My parents
hit you real quick.
It'll hit you real quick. And my parents are very they didn't care if you're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. If you live in that house,
100%.
there are rules in this house, and there is a curfew. Oh man, I pushed against that curfew, but I'm 18, I'm 19, and I was really that kid that just pushed it all the time. I can't speak for my siblings, but from my perspective, they didn't do that as much as I did. Sure. Maybe they were learning what not to do because of what their older brother and the mistakes I was making. But one of my friends came to me and was like, "Hey man, there's an opportunity to I'm looking at a new place." And want to see if you want to go in with me. And I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to move out. Like, let's do this. And mind you, I'd already been like kind of spend the night with friends, like outside of my parents' house, just kind of getting exposure to the world more so when I was doing that. And so I was like, okay, well, this is my opportunity. I already don't like people telling me what to do. And this is where I get to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? I get to make my own choices, my own decisions. This is good for me. Let's do this.
You think pride motivated that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let me rewind before I get into me moving out.
Sure.
And I honestly didn't feel like talking about this up until just right now. I dated a girl. That's she came from an apostolic home. Came from an apostolic home from another church. And it put me through the ringer. So I think that like the mentality I had and the attitude and the chip on my shoulder that I had, and then going into this relationship that was not a healthy relationship. It was very toxic, like a lot of fighting, not just between her and I, but even between myself and her parents.
Oh, wow.
There was a dynamic there that I don't think I need to share like in all the details on it, but there was a dynamic there that just made it very difficult, which put a strain on our relationship. And I was dating this girl. Well, then I was becoming more of that defensive Robbie that I already was, but I feel like it just fed into it.
Sure.
So I was becoming more like distance from my family. I was starting to like hang out with them less, hang out with her. People would try to tell me like, hey, she's not good for you. Well, you tell somebody with a chip on their shoulder and very defensive that the girl that they think that they're in love with is not good for them, you're gonna be like, well, you don't know. You don't know our relationship. You know what I mean? So I went through that. There was a season of that, and so when her and I broke up, it was a very like hard time for me. But there was a lot that happened in there. So I don't think, yes, it could be considered part of the testimony, but we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes here soon. But that all was kind of leading me into like the meat and potatoes of the testimony.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone.
Exactly. And it was just, I was becoming more bitter. Like, honestly, like it kind of like jaded my opinion on girls and women, like in dating. Like I was just like, well, if I went through this with this girl, like then all girls must do this to guys. You know what I mean? And not when I should have reflected on my grandparents' marriage and my parents' marriage and my family members who had successful and very healthy marriages and relationships.
Yeah.
And then I see my siblings, they're starting to date people, and I'm starting to become judgmental towards them. You know what I mean? Just very judgmental person. Like,
I think when pride builds up in your life and you kind of give into it, like letting that chip on your shoulder kind of rest, your lens gets skewed just a little bit. You know, we've talked about it here on this podcast. You can either look at things through the lens of Christ or the world. And when pride builds up and that chip gets bigger and bigger, your lens gets skewed. It gets blurry. It gets dirty. It gets dirty, rather.
Yeah, no, 100%. You nailed it on the head. So now transitioning out of that relationship, I'm moving out.
Yeah.
I'm a man, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yes, like, let's experience this world. Like, I'm going to see what exactly. Like, I had a good job working for the bank. And so I was making decent money for my age, like, had a cool car, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to live life. Yeah. So I move out, and there was 3 of us. It was 2 roommates and myself, and we had a little house. Like, it was a little 3-bedroom house, cool little house. And I'm going to really be careful, like, what I share from this point on, just because this is where, like, we're speaking to a broad audience, right? So I really want to be careful. However, I want to share what I believe the Holy Ghost is going to tell me to share to help people, because that's really my main concern, is just help people. Yeah. So it's 3 of us in this house, 3 guys, and we're young, and we're ready to take on the world, and unfortunately, we all knew the truth, but we're all in the same car, driving the same road to experience life outside of church. Yeah. So, make a long story short, my one of my friends, my roommate at the time, one of my best friends, like, love him. He's more than a friend. He's a brother to me, like a brother. And he had the privilege of connecting with certain individuals in Arizona, athletes, movie star, like, you name it. Like, he just was able to build a relationship like none other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no one I've ever met. And you get a 21, 22-year-old boy that has been raised in church his whole life, and now he's getting exposed to professional athletes, like, and the way that they throw a party is not like your birthday party at a church, right? Like, or and it was just like, wow. Like, in my job, I experienced this before I moved out, because I told you I was already, like, kind of going out and doing my own thing. Yeah. I was already spending the night, you know, at friends' houses and experiencing this. So I didn't go to college. I didn't do the frat party stuff. I didn't do, like, any of that. And I get straight into going to Old Town Scottsdale, which there's going to be some that hear that on that podcast and be like, Robbie Bibb was down in Old Town Scottsdale. Yes, I was down in Old Town Scottsdale. And I was there, and people that know already know. So if you know, you know, right? Kind of thing. Sure. And man, that was the life. That's what we live for. Yeah. And it was going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and mind you, I was still waking up Sunday mornings, putting on my suit and tie, coming to church, putting on the facade, and playing those drums.
What did that do to you mentally?
Oh man, I got to a point where I was calloused, where I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's just, you know what I mean? It's just what I did. Like, I wasn't hurting anybody in my mind. Like, I'm not coming to church and, like, pulling people away from it. I'm not disrupting their relationship with God, right? Like, in my mind, I wasn't hurting anybody. Yeah. And I think I got to the point, I want to kind of recap on explaining how I was 13, 14, 15 years old of being my own man. Yeah. I got addicted to, I can make my own decisions. I got addicted to that. I didn't want anyone telling me what to do. Yeah. And I didn't have that anymore.
Just the chip got
and
bigger.
I loved it. Yeah. I love no one telling me what to do.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like, it just felt good. Like, hey, and I'm going to say it, my dad doesn't get to tell me what to do anymore. Yeah, yeah. I'm a man.
And even if you know it's good, you do the opposite just because they're telling you what you should do.
In spite, you know what I mean? In spite. And so yeah, I was living that lifestyle, complete facade coming to church.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it on this podcast. There was times where I came to church hungover.
Sure.
There's times I came to church still drunk.
Sure.
There's times I came to church a little high. You know what I mean? Like,
you ain't alone on this
exactly.
podcast,
And I thought that I was deceiving everybody.
Yeah.
Come to find out, there were people that would like kind of catch on to things, and they started saying things, and you think you're smart, like, oh, nobody knows that you know what I mean? But I was, and then I want to pinpoint like a specific situation where, we might have been over at my parents'. I don't think it was Thanksgiving. It was for something. We were having dinner, and my sister Raina, she may like listen to this, and she may get a little teary eyed with me saying it, but she was in front of me in line, and I'll never forget. Like, I kind of was joking with her about taking too long because everyone's in a line to get their food, and it was a complete joke. And she just dropped the spoon or fork or whatever it was, and like looked at me with this face and like walked away, and I knew she was like distraught over something. I'm like, I'm looking around like, what did I say? What did I do? And I went up to her. I said, hey, can we chat? Are you okay? We went outside, and somebody had told her that I was at church that last Sunday, completely hungover, and now she got to see what I was doing. The thing I was actually trying to protect my sisters especially from, right? Like, my brother, I don't feel like I try to protect him because he's a man, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to figure it out the way he figures it out. Unfortunately, I do think I like did some things like with him, like, and I brought him out with me a few times, and I shouldn't have done, certain things. But now my sister is seeing me for what, like, the first person in my family that really is seeing it. Like, is that true? Is that true?
Was it almost heartbreaking for her?
Oh my goodness. Like, you could tell she was so heartbroken. She was mad at me. She was disappointed in me. And I felt all that, like, in the moment.
Yeah.
And she was like, is it true? Were you? I'm like, I was. Yeah. I was like, but you have no right to judge me. Like, I'm doing me. Like, I got this. I'm figuring it out. And I can't tell you what went on in her head. Probably just sheer disappointment. In her big brother, who she looked up to. And I know I broke a lot of trust, not just with her, but like my siblings in a lot of ways. And I knew it's not fully repaired, but I know I'm working on like to earn and build that credibility again.
Sure.
But I'm just taking you down that road of my testimony and where I hurt others along the way, right?
That's real. I think the biggest thing about a testimony, though, is looking back at it, and we can talk about things and be transparent about things because we've been delivered from those things.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to highlight to help people is like, this may have been who you were. But through process with God, through his ringer, so to speak, letting yourself be molded and shaped by him, you turned out to who you are today.
Yes.
And that's what matters.
Yep, exactly. No, and I appreciate you sharing that. That's why we do what we do, right? Like, I found, exactly. Well, I found that even when I talked about it before, it was more, it wasn't because I was delivered from it.
Sure.
I was talking about it as it was a flex, right? The things that I did, like, even when like I was pulling away from that lifestyle.
Sure.
I want to talk about like, oh, I used to party with so-and-so, and I used to do this, and I used to go to the clubs with so-and-so. Like, you know what I mean? I was down in San Diego with so-and-so. Like, I was up in Vegas with so-and-so. It was more of a flex. And then I felt like there was one time my brother called me out on it, actually. Thank you, Corey, for calling me out. And he was like, dude, you're talking about like your past as if you're like you're proud of it. I'm like, but I'm not. Like, well, that's the way you're talking about it. And he was so upset with me. And I'm like, okay, well, we ended that conversation a little heated, but I thought about it. I'm like, he is so right. Like, I'm still talking about like I'm proud of the way I lived. I need to get to the point where like I hate it. I'm not happy with the person I was during that time, right? I hate who I was. I hate the person I was trying to be.
It's okay to say that too.
Exactly.
It's okay to be real with yourself.
Exactly. And that's where I was like, man, like just seeing how God like put my siblings in my path to like help me, right? Like I never would have thought. I'm big brother. I'm the one supposed to be helping them, giving them advice, but And then maybe I don't share it with them like I should at times, but all three of them have played a huge, intricate part of who I am now and the person I am now. But, yeah, I was living this lifestyle, man, and it was – I'm going to flat out tell you it was amazing at the time. Like, it was fun. It fed my flesh, like all the desires I had. Like, I was kept from this. I was protected from this. Yet now I'm like – well, my parents were wrong. They didn't know. They don't know. They didn't experience it like I'm experiencing. They didn't know what they were talking. That was my mindset, right? Like, they didn't know, like, this lifestyle. They didn't understand it. So, yeah, it's easy for them to say don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people were telling me, like, giving me advice, but I didn't want to listen because I was like, you guys don't get it. Like,
when you don't care and you want to engage in sin, that's when sin becomes fun.
Yeah.
Because you nailed it on the head. It feeds your flesh.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's meant to do, is feed your flesh and make you feel good. And it's that feel-good moment that keeps you away from the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So, living this life, having a lot of fun, something happens. And I got to be vague on this because it's sharing someone else's story, and I'm really careful to do that. I feel like everyone is responsible to share their own story and not my responsibility to share theirs, right? So I'll share from my perspective, leaving names out, but something had happened and it put me kind of, I was alone. Like, I was alone and not sure what to do. I was losing a job, and it was a weird time. Like, I couldn't even tell you how many jobs like I applied to and just no hits. Like, I think I even applied like a QT. I was like, I heard Quick Trip is hiring. 0 calls, 0 emails. Like, I could not get a job to save my life.
I believe that was God.
At the time, no. Now, yes.
Sure,
right?
Sure,
like,
sure.
yeah. So at the time, I'm just like, what is going on?
God has interesting ways of humbling
Oh,
us.
my goodness. He sure does. So at that time, like, I was just kind of really, really discouraged. And I was hitting up my dad a lot, and I was hanging out with him.
Okay.
I was hanging out with him. I'd call him and be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing today?
Sure.
I'm going to be down at the church at such and such time. I was like, do you mind if I come down and just hang out and, like, meet you? And this is something I had not done in a handful of years, where, like, I didn't go on family vacations, like, really anymore. Like, my parents and my siblings, and sometimes they would take a friend, but I was not going to those. And the only time that I was seeing my family was at a church, well, just at church, because I really wasn't doing church events.
Sure.
Was just at church, and then holidays, like, I'd, come by, but that was really it. So I felt like I detached myself from my family and my own father, and who was supposed to be the spiritual leader of me. You know what I mean? Even though I had moved out, like, I still needed accountability, which I did not want, right? Like, remember, I wanted to be my own man. I didn't want accountability. I didn't want anyone telling me what I needed to hear. I just wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Men need accountability for the rest of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what stage of life you're at. You need accountability, whether it's to a peer or to a pastor or an overseer, like you're talking about.
Yeah, we need mentors in our life.
100%.
We need other men, like, in our life that we can reach out to, that will give us the tools that we need to succeed in certain areas of our life. Like, but again, like, I didn't have any of that. I really didn't have friends in the church that were helping me there. Like, but yeah, so this lifestyle continued, but I was still reaching out to my dad and wanting to hang out with him, and I would go to lunch with him, and we'd go back to the church, and I'd get in my vehicle and go home. You know what I mean? But I felt like I was connecting with my dad again, and I was also seeing ministry now full circle. Remember, that's what we started with. Like, we're going now back to ministry where I'm seeing it different. I'm like, wow. So, like, you mean to tell me all the people in the church aren't bad people? Like, talking down and bad-mouthing the pastor. Like, we had a church that was full of good people that my dad was just thriving to pastor, right? Like, he just loved what he did, which, let's rewind. At one point, I kind of questioned if my dad wanted to be a pastor. Because from a kid's perspective, I'm like, man, these people are, like, mean. They're lying. They're saying things. Like, they're trying to overthrow and kick him out as pastor. And you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot that happened there. And you've heard my dad, mention Brother Wilson and how he brought in Brother Wilson. And at that point in time, I was already kind of older, and I already had seen it though. So like my siblings, I feel like they saw the better years of the Wilsons helping my parents out,
Sure.
and really helping our church move forward from that mentality.
Yeah.
But I had already seen too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I'm only 2 years and 9 months older than my brother, I'd already seen it. It's
once you see it,
it's hard to unsee it. So now I'm seeing another side of ministry that I'm like, it isn't so bad. It's. Yeah, there are hard times. My dad still carries the weight of a lot of things that people share with him, and hospital visits and funerals, and there's darkness sometimes in that. But now I'm seeing he loves what he does, and there's good people, and we would go to lunch with individuals, and I'm like, man, there's still good people in the church, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, I still didn't really want ministry. I was like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I mean, I'm at a crossroads where I can't get a job. I'm kind of alone. I don't really have a lot of friends. One of my other friends, my closest friends, wasn't around. He was my roommate at the time. And he, like I said, I was alone. And then my second roommate to this day, I really don't know. He was still paying rent, but he was never there.
Yeah.
So I'm going home, and I'm alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got this empty house to myself, what to do. And I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I don't know what God has for me. I don't know the direction he wants me to go. I don't know if I'll ever preach. I don't know if I'll ever stand behind a pulpit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I need to figure something out. Yeah. I need to, this lifestyle just ain't cutting it anymore. The drinking, the drugs, it's just the partying. It's not.
It runs its course.
It ran its course. And again, it was so much fun. It was pleasure to the flesh, but I got to a point where it just didn't fulfill me.
Yeah.
And that's with anything outside of God, right?
100%.
We're always pursuing something for fulfillment.
Yeah.
We always want to be accepted by something or someone or a group.
Yeah.
So that's what we always run to.
Yeah.
And if we're constantly running to things that are a temporary void, that's exactly what it's going to be, is a temporary void, right? So there's going to come a point where whether that be 2 years, 5 years, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, there's going to come a point where that just does not satisfy you anymore.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to get to that point, and that's where I was at.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy it didn't take me 20 years to find that or to feel that, but I got to a point where this just isn't feeding my flesh anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
God uses those moments.
He does.
He really shows up in those moments to kind of check us, so to speak.
And he was checking me. He was checking me real good right here. So, yeah, at this point, I'm okay, let me start developing my prayer life. Sure. You know what I mean? Which I can't tell you the last time I talked to God. You know what I mean? Before this, I can't pinpoint, but I can pinpoint when I started.
Sure.
I can't. I know the exact night. I know where I was at. I know where I was in my house. I can, and I know my conversation with God, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. It was a lot of anger that came out, a lot of tears that came out. Yeah. A lot of things were coming out, and so at that point, I started, I'm hanging out with my dad more. I'm coming to church more, which I never stopped going Sunday and Wednesdays.
Sure.
All right. So I want to, maybe I'm speaking to somebody today that you're a backslider that comes to church every service.
Yeah. That happens.
All right. Maybe you're not really living for God, but you come to church every service.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. I was able to put the facade on for a certain amount of time, and
sure.
I still, to this day, don't think my parents knew the extent of what I was doing or what I had done. Sure. But they knew. My parents aren't dumb, right?
No,
they're so much wiser than we give them credit for at times. And I know that they know things that they've probably never even said that they know, but they knew. But at this time, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I was still kind of dabbling in the world a little bit, but I was doing better. It wasn't as much. Yeah. And then I got approached to play drums, drums for secular music, and somehow I convinced myself that was okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be okay. My walk with God is getting stronger. This isn't gonna, stop that or prohibit that. And I started playing drums, and I felt the more I was in that world, it kept taking me away from my relationship with God.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it, but it was more of like a drifting kind of thing, slowly drifting.
That's an attack,
Mhm.
rather that pulls you away. I want to touch back on something real quick, because I believe it's going to bless people. That moment that you had with God, that prayer time with God. You ain't got to go into detail. That's between you and God, But you said you were real with God. Do you think there is generally speaking, there's a lack of that just in people's faith walk now, where we think we got to come to God pretty, or we got to come to God, Lord Jesus, please bless me and watch over my kids. And those are all valid prayers. But I think when we really get transparent with God, that's when he can be real with us.
Oh, yeah. And there's also something to touch on is we have an expectation that God's going to speak to us in that prayer. And there was like, I want to say 5-6 times maybe that I was just prayed those harsh prayers and did not hear the voice of God.
Wow.
And maybe it was God waiting to see how consistent I was going to be.
Sure.
Right? Like in my prayer, am I going to continue, or am I only going to do this 4 times and then stop?
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I came with some snot down the nose, like crying. Sure. Probably said some things that people will say, well, you shouldn't have said those words. You know what I mean? Like, but I had some choice words with God, you know, and I'm not proud of it, but I felt like I came to him as honest as I could.
Yeah.
I came to him from a state of mind that I was in. Like, and like I said, I'm so glad nobody heard that prayer, because I would have been judged by it. But luckily I went to a gracious God that, and I repented for a lot of things that I had said, but I came to him very ugly, and I had some choice words, but never heard back. Yeah. Never heard back.
I think sometimes we forget that God's a father too. And the same way that our earthly fathers operate a little bit is the same way he operates, and vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the same way that he operates is the same way that our earthly fathers and we ourselves should operate. And sometimes fathers speak to you, and sometimes fathers are just there to listen.
You got to figure it out.
And sometimes they just let you go about your ways and figure it out. That's right, bro.
Yep, and that's what God allowed me that. But now I feel like I'm being attacked differently. Like, it's not like just in your face. It's more like, no, you can still play drums and play drums in the church. Like, it wasn't something I broadcasted, to everyone. But I was playing country music, and I had the opportunity to go to Nashville, Austin, and even LA at one point. And I was close because I'm like, man, I'm doing what I love. Like, I absolutely love it. But there was always something that stuck with me. And it was my grandma Bib. She used to always, she never knew that I was playing, in the world. But to give you a little context, my grandfather, that's where he came from, Grandpa Bib. It was Bob Bibb and the Western Rhythm Masters. You know what I mean? So he was a country guitarist and singer, and
that's awesome.
It was just kind of weird how that full circle, and now I'm being exposed to that. Yeah. But she always said that she always had the prayer that if she would talk about her son as Robbie. Yeah. Robbie, like, so it wasn't me, Robbie, it was my father. Sure. But she would say, I always used to pray to God that if Robbie ever played drums in the world, like, you just do whatever you got to do. Yeah. You do whatever you got to do to get him saved, and that's a scary prayer. Yes, you know what I mean? When a grandmother prays that, like, so she used to tell me that she would pray that about my dad. Yeah. Not knowing what I was doing. Yeah. But I felt like God was using her to, like, tell me that. Yeah. And I'm like, well, man, maybe my mom's praying that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe my mom is. And I'm like, well, like, this is getting a little scary. Well, fast forward, my cousin at the time was our youth pastor here at POP. Okay. And he had a team of youth workers that he had utilized. Yeah. And he came to me and he's like, hey, would you like to be part of this team? Yeah. And I was like, let me think about it. Well, mind you, I've already connected with a lot of young boys here. Like, there's a lot of young boys that, like, I just always connected with, played basketball with, tried to mentor. Because even though, like, I was still not living how I should, I still knew, like, these boys need help. Maybe they were fatherless or
Yeah.
They were going down a road that was similar to mine. I was trying to help them and prevent them, but I always had a soft spot, for some of these young boys. And at first I was like, I don't want ministry, but these boys are in the youth group and I've really connected with them, and maybe I should just go on as a helper.
Yeah.
Not a minister or anything, just like I'm there for them, right? Like a little mentor. But yet I was still playing drums secular in the bars, nightclubs, honky tonks. I'd play for festivals. Some people might have heard of Country Thunder. It's one of the biggest country festivals, and it's, huge. You got 40 to 50,000 people out there, and sharing the stage with some really well-known artists. And man, it felt so good to be up there with that many people, cheering it and singing and doing all. And now again, I am feeding my flesh, right? I found another avenue that was feeding that flesh.
Yeah. And something that was your gift.
Yeah.
That God had given you.
Yep. Exactly. And mind you, I'm still not thinking ministry.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm good at just helping out where I'm needed.
Yeah.
But that's it. I'm happy with that, and I justified being able to be in that position but still kind of do what I was doing, because I'm still not harming anybody in the church. Right?
Yeah.
So I was doing both, and the youth pastor at the time decided he was going to step down soon.
Yeah.
And he was actually at the age where you kind of phase out. I'm 35, 36 years old. And it kind of, I caught on that they were insinuating I'd be a good fit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, you guys have no idea. You know what I mean? I'm not a good fit for this. In my mind, that's what I was thinking. And I actually remember the restaurant we were sitting at, and the youth pastor at the time was kind of telling me, what he's doing and how he's going to be stepping aside. And, there's going to have to be someone step up and do it.
Yeah, he's dropping hints.
Yeah, exactly. And I was, in my mind, I was like, I'm good.
Looking back at that, do you feel like you were running from ministry?
Oh, yeah. I had been running from ministry a long time. And that's why I wanted to share that beginning portion of I was that kid behind a video camera preaching. Acts 2:38. Then Peter said, unto them, and my dad would say something, I'd repeat it, say, in Jesus' name, you know what I mean? I was that kid, and I loved it. But again, I get into that point of life where I start seeing how people mistreat ministry or ministers or pastors or whatever it may be. And I'm like, well, if that's what it is, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
But God always found a way, even throughout that timeline, he found a way to drop hints on me, and he used a lot of people, including my grandparents. I after work, and I would go to their house and just have dinner with them, which, funny little joke, I'd show up at their house and tell them that I'm coming over, and I'd come over for dinner. It would literally be chocolate cake for dinner. That was my grandparents. And some people are going to laugh when they hear that, but my grandmother would literally just have chocolate cake for dinner. That's awesome. And I was at the point where I'm like, who am I to tell them they can't have chocolate cake for dinner, right? I'm like, I like the chocolate cake too. So
we just homemade chocolate cake?
I don't even know if it was homemade, and I don't even know, but it was good. It was good. Usually somebody made it for them. Sure. So I don't know if it was homemade or a box cake, but it was good. And so even in those moments, my grandparents would share things with me on, our heritage and where we come from. And it's very important to, pass that mantle. But I was just like, they don't know. That'll be for my brother. That'll be for my sisters and who they marry. Somebody's we're fine. The mantle will be passed. We're good, but not to me.
I think there is something significant about the oldest. Not to belittle anybody, because I got younger siblings. I know you got younger siblings. Everybody's called, but even in biblical terms, there's something significant about the oldest picking up that mantle and walking with it.
Yep, 100%. So now I'm living both lives, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. You know what I mean? Where I'm playing secular music, I'm playing Christian music, but now God started dealing with me with where I was really being fulfilled. What I took for granted playing drums in church my whole life, I'm getting a different feeling from that.
Okay.
I'm starting to feel wow, this is different. When I play secular music, it was fun, but I didn't feel anything.
Okay.
Right? I didn't feel anointing. I didn't feel the Spirit of God. I didn't feel any of that.
Yeah.
But when I played in church, it would overtake you, bro. Like I try to tell people that I had a conversation with a young musician about 5 years ago now, 5-6 years ago, and they were talking about how they want to start playing, secular. And I was like, I'm gonna tell you this right now: nothing replaces the anointing of God that you get when you're playing for God.
That's real.
Like, it was so real, bro. And that's where I started feeling something I didn't feel for 25 years of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I just played. I just played drums. It was something I was good at. Like, my dad taught me how to play, and I became a pretty good drummer. Like, and I was good at it. So I just did it. You know what I mean? There was no one else in the church that was doing it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Now I get to experience the two differences.
Yeah.
Secular versus in church.
Yeah. You have the free will to use your gift however you decide to use your gift. And I think you highlighted something so key, that fulfillment is where the Holy Spirit is involved with your gift. And when those two things match up, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it sure is. So now we'll get into ministry.
Sure.
All right. So playing drums, and my father, like, and my brother-in-laws can attest to this, so can my brother. My dad likes to call you into his room. He'll call you into the room, and he's laying on his bed, and he's either got like a Bible, a book, or possibly his phone or his iPad, right? Like, sure. And he'd just be laying on his bed, and it's usually on top of the covers, sure. Just chilling. And he called me in the room, and I didn't share this, but I did move back in with my parents.
Okay.
I did. Like, our lease was up. I was alone.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to move back in with my parents and, try to figure this thing out. So now I'm living back with my parents in my late 20s, which was, in my mind, it was very demeaning. Like, I was like, man, I was a man taking care of myself, and now people are going to think that I can't take care of myself, which I could.
Yeah.
But I was worried about what people thought. Yeah. Which is natural. Worried about what people think, but I was just like, I'm living with my parents, but just temporarily until like I kind of figure out where I want to go. You know what I mean? That's how I was kind of positioning that. And I'm living with my parents. He calls me into the room, and I walk in. He's like, hey, your cousin is going to be stepping down from youth ministry, and we're wanting to fill that position, and want to see if you would take that on if you feel like you're a good fit. And I'm like, oh no, Dad. No, I don't. I appreciate it, but I mean, the best I could do is like think about it. But I doubt I'd pursue that. So I want to say it was about a year's time where like I was like, okay, God, if this is what you really want me to do, like I'll pray about it. Like this is where like remember I had those hard prayers. Now let's start praying for God's will in my life.
Yeah.
And he quickly shared with me like it's not about like a position. It's not about you just being a youth pastor. It's about like, are you ready to love people, and are you ready to like pour your heart out to people and help them through their struggles? Yeah, that's what that is the question. Like, okay, I hated people for so long because of what I seen, what they're capable of. Yeah. Now, are you ready to stop hating people and love them like I love them? Wow. It wasn't about the position. Like, I don't feel like God's voice like descended from heaven and was like, you're going to be a youth pastor, Robbie. Like such and such. Like some people might have had that in their life. I did not. Yeah. But I had what I felt God's voice telling me. Do you love them or do you not? If you love people, it doesn't matter what position you're in. It doesn't matter what title you hold. Yeah. If you love them, I will place you where I want them. It's like what I preached last Sunday, right? Like get out of the barn and work the field. It's like it's not about the position. It's like, are you willing to work the field because you love the people? Yeah. Yeah. If you love them, I will tell you like what I want you to do specifically, whether that be a pastor or a youth pastor or an evangelist or a missionary. Like I will place you. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Right. So I'm like, all right. But then again, I'm still playing drums and I'm enjoying playing in the world, but I'm like more fulfilled playing in church. But sure. I didn't think what I was doing was wrong. Like I wasn't out partying. I wasn't out like doing anything bad. I was just playing country music and getting paid for it and going home and going to bed and then getting up for church and living for God. Like I was doing a good job. Yeah. But then I started praying a very specific prayer. God, there's things in my life that I know aren't sinful. Mm-hmm. I'm not living in sin like I did. Yeah. I do things I need to repent for daily, but I'm not living the same lifestyle. But there are things that I do if you want me to be in ministry, can you tell me what I need to give up?
Yeah.
What do I need to sacrifice?
Yeah.
And it was quickly playing drums in the world. It was a quick answer that I just felt like right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, God, like, I'll do it. So I went back to my dad and I had a conversation. I'm like, Dad, I'm giving this up. Like, I just feel like, how do I justify if a young person found out I was playing in bars, but I'm telling them they shouldn't be drinking, they shouldn't be, you know, walking down this lifestyle or walking into this lifestyle.
Yeah.
How would I be able to explain that?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like God was like, that's why I'm requiring you to make a sacrifice. It isn't because it's necessarily sinful.
Yeah.
You can't find a 10 commandment on it.
Yeah.
But yet I'm requiring so much more of you, Robbie.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm like, okay, I'm adhering to the voice of God. I'm actually like listening to what he's telling me.
Yeah.
So I told my dad, and I'll never forget. I told him, Dad, but like a lot of things that I've done, you don't even know about. Yeah. He said, that's okay, Robbie. I don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
But I will say this, what you have gone through, what you've done, what you've experienced is what qualifies you to be in that ministry.
Wow.
I was like,
weren't expecting that word.
Yeah, I was like, man, like, how though? And he's like, well, what you've been through, you're going to help people that other people couldn't have helped. You're going to have experiences that you're going to be able to talk about. You're going to have a testimony you're going to be able to talk about, which is why we're here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We come full circle and everything.
Yeah,
like, it's
absolutely.
like, all right.
That's
like,
God, though.
It was all God. And so I got to a point where I'm like, man, like, here I was now starting to beat myself up because I'm like, like, I know God is wanting me to be in some sort of ministry and wanting me to do things. But I didn't know where, and I was beating myself up.
Yeah.
I was like really hard on myself with, but I've done this, I've done that. Like, I still have struggles. I still have things going on in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think we count ourselves out sometimes.
We do.
Yeah.
And we're the quickest that, to count ourselves out when other people are rooting for us, right?
We know
like,
ourselves the best.
Yeah, we do. And that's a good and bad thing at the same time.
For
but
sure.
I got to a point where I was just like, all right, God, like, if what my dad is saying is true, like, you'll open the doors. Like, I'm not going to open the door on my own. Like, I'm going to allow you to open those doors.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the doors open where I stepped into a youth pastor role, if you will. I don't like to throw around that word pastor too much, like, because I'm not a titles guy. I've just never really been a titles guy. But I was like, all right, if that's what God wants me to do and who he wants me to be, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to try to help these young people through a difficult time, because I know how difficult your teens are.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. But at that time, I was trying to juggle 13 all the way to 25.
Yeah.
So that's a wide, like, age group to juggle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we didn't really have college and career hyphen. We just had youth, which was the old school way of 13 to 25. I never liked it. But yeah, so now I'm getting into ministry, and God just gave me a love for people, because that was my prayer. Like, all right, God, I'm going to need you to help me love people.
Yeah, again, being transparent with God, because you knew what you were dealing with, what you had exposed yourself to, or even what you got exposed to, because as a child, you naturally are just loving for people. There's that innocence, but then you being exposed to kind of the ugly side, of people is what altered you, And I think that I think everybody goes through it as well, too, there's a process. And I think, too, we can do a better job at being graceful with people in the process as well. But if somebody is in an extreme, like you were talking about, you're even though you're physically in church, you're not walking with God. You're full on willingly living a sinful life. And then, okay, I'm going to give up my sinful things, and now I'm better. You said it, key there it is. I'm better than what I used to be. And if we always measure it at that, then we'll always think we're okay.
Yeah.
But then there comes a point, almost that come to Jesus moment, where it's like, okay, you walked away from it. You're here now. what are you going to do with it moving forward?
Yep.
What are you called to? Because we're all called
Yep.
to something.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
Yep.
are you going to walk with Christ into that calling? Those are kind of I always look at it, those are kind of the 3 stages of our walk.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. And you hit the nail on the head again, Chaz, as you always do. But, yeah, so I pursued it. I went headstrong into being a youth pastor, and just it was really weird that the love that I felt from God that worked through me for these young people.
That's
and
awesome.
I can't say that I did everything perfectly as a youth pastor. And I'm so proud of Matt, who took it over. Matt and my sister Raina, when they took it over, they've taken it to a level that I never could do.
Yeah, perfect fits.
So good. So proud of both of them. But I was told by somebody, and I didn't even realize it, but they said, you know what, Robbie, like, one thing we can say about your youth ministry or your ministry with young people is we have never seen a youth pastor love their kids the way you love your kids.
And kids need that.
Yeah.
Especially in that age group, 13 to 25. And the love looks different, and it may show up different, you know, especially when you talk about boys, girls, adolescents. But love is needed.
Yes, it's
during
so
that
needed.
time.
Yep.
You need that.
And there's some that have walked away. There's some that go to other churches now. And I try not to get caught up in my own feelings, you know what I mean? My own emotions, my feels, right? Like, sure. I still love them so much, and I hope they know that. And maybe I'm speaking to some of them that are listening in that do go to other churches or are no longer in church. But I love them with all my heart. Like, and I only want to see them be successful, and not just successful in life, like with their jobs, careers, and schooling and whatnot, but their walk with God. That's why I always open my home to them and just love on them. But you know, just talking about that word love, it's just like I could not have had it without healthy love from my family, but then God showing me how to love people. That was it. Like, so I feel like
that's the source, right?
Always. And something else I want to share is, if you haven't caught on to something, is the word I want to share is anchored. I was always anchored. You know what I mean? Even though I was living in the world, I was doing my own thing, I still came. Still came. I still came every Sunday. Back then, it was Sunday morning. You go take a nap. You come back for Sunday night. You know what I mean? We had 2 services, and I still came. I still showed up on Wednesdays.
I was talking to Matt Wednesday.
Okay.
And he was talking about, you know, youth and kids and stuff like that. And speaking to parents who are listening to this, he talked about, you know, if your kid's getting out of line, you know, you can ground them off of this, you can ground them off of that. And you can ground them off of so many things that takes that thing away from them. And credit to Matt. What are they grounded to? Are they grounded to? What are you replacing it with? Are they grounded to the church, the Word of God, relationship with Him? They may veer off, as we all do, and as we all have done. But you highlighted something so good. You were anchored in it. That anchor doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
When it's built into an individual, especially at an early age, and that's Christ. That's nothing that we do. We are the vessels. But when that anchor is of the Holy Spirit is put in us, it doesn't leave.
It doesn't. And it's, maybe talking to some parents, is my parents did a really good job with, even if we were grounded or in trouble, it was never from anything church related. You know what I mean? So I feel like they were setting an anchor at a young age for me. So I always knew that even though I was doing my dirt, doing my thing, living my life, I still kept coming, because it was still, even though I questioned my belief in God at times and any of this and living for God and coming to church, like, I still did it. You know what I mean? Reluctantly at times, but I still did it.
For sure.
And I want to encourage, like, not just young people, but parents. Like, find a way to keep your kids anchored to it by not forcing them to do it. But also knowing that if they are in trouble and they're grounded, like, don't let a church event be part of that grounding. Oh, you can't go to youth group tonight. You know what I mean? Like, it's
for sure.
Because you know, they're going to start saying, well, it's not important then to mom and dad, so it's not important to me, so I'm going to raise my anchor when I'm of age to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to pull that anchor. But for me, I allowed that anchor to stay put.
Yeah.
And yes, the ocean took me out. Like,
Sure.
you know what I mean? I was drifting.
Yeah.
But see, if I would have picked that anchor up, I just would have kept on going, and it would have been so much harder to come back.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was ready to make a change, any addiction I had, which I wasn't really addicted to certain things like alcohol or drugs.
Sure,
like
sure.
I had dabbled in some of it, but I wasn't addicted to it. I was more addicted to just making my own choices and decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
So now when it became the time to make my own choice and decision, like on the opposite end,
Yeah.
living for God,
Yeah.
like it wasn't a problem. It was actually easy for me to walk away. Now it doesn't mean I don't have my vices. I expose myself and my mind to certain things in the world that I can never undo.
No.
I will always have those thoughts.
Yeah.
But God was able to deliver me from a lot of it. And
Yeah.
there's some of it that, like, unless I really start trying to think about it, I don't remember, because I feel like it's God erasing some things. But
He does that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. He
He
erases
definitely
some
does.
things that I feel like prevent us from moving forward. Like I feel like he'll give us that relief at times.
100%.
But there are times where he just says, no, you're going to keep thinking about it, because it's what's pushing you forward on what you don't want to experience again, right?
Exactly.
So I just leave that up to him and just pray that God continue to deliver all the things to where I can fully, walk away from them. But I'm here to protect kids and help them not expose their mind to things that they shouldn't have been exposed to in the first place.
For sure.
'Cause that's what I did. And it is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's your
now I'm just
testimony.
using it to help people.
Yeah.
And I left out a lot of little things that I felt like the Holy Ghost doesn't want me to share. Just because there's some dark places in my life, but I hope that I gave enough today to help someone that will help them not walk down the road. Don't ever think that, oh, Brother Robbie went through it, I can go through and still end up the way Brother Robbie did.
Yeah.
And that's not, we can never look at life that way. We can never look at individuals that way, because what I was exposed to was completely different than someone else trying to do the exact same thing as me.
Yeah.
So I just want to be an encouragement to people and share my testimony.
No, you did exactly
Mm-hmm.
that, and let's kind of cap it with all the good that has happened in
Yes.
your life
All
since
right.
then,
Let's do
because
it.
you were
Started with good, the middle was bad. Let's cap it with a
you know,
good,
it's
right?
like the
Let's
book
do
of
it.
Psalms. It
Yeah.
starts with God, then it talks about David's struggles, and then it
Yeah.
ends with God.
Let's do it.
But now you are, you're in ministry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you accepted your dad's role. You stepped into that pastor stewardship, over the youth, and then you ultimately got married. You have a family now, so
Which is crazy, because
walk
I didn't
down
want that.
good road.
Yeah, let's walk down the good road. I didn't foresee marriage or kids in my life. I got to a point where I was just like, I'm good being single. Like, I was, again, addicted to making my own decisions and choices, which kind of led me to the mindset I'm never going to be married. And I meet a beautiful young woman named Corey Mallory at the time. Her mother and father, Jeff and Brenda Mallory, and her grandfather, Gordon, and grandmother, Afton Mallory. So there's history there, in the church, and a lot of people listening to this podcast will know exactly who they are, missionaries to the Philippines and whatnot. I meet this young, beautiful girl and was like, oh, all right. Like, I got to get to know this girl. I got to see what's up. Now, mind you, she was just coming to Arizona temporarily, and to this day, she's a little upset with me that I kept her in Arizona in this desert heat. She hates our summers, but she loves me enough to stay.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I meet her, and then all of a sudden, what I didn't want, I saw. Immediately, I feel like God opened my eyes. Like, no, this is what I was protecting you for your future. Like, so now you can marry like a good young woman that will help you in ministry, will be your helpmeet, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I just started seeing, this is a girl I want to have children with. And again, something I didn't want, but all of a sudden I started seeing it, like, quick. And I'm like, well, I ain't getting any younger. Like, let's see what's up with this. So we started dating. We were going full time, and I was falling in love with this girl. And we started talking about marriage and our life. And I'm like, well, would you stay in Arizona? She's like, if that's where you're going to be, then yeah. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
all right, well, let's make this happen. So we got married in October of 2019, and I think at the time I was 34 when I got married, and by December of 2019, we found out that we were pregnant with our first child, Wyatt.
Yeah.
And he's the first blessing that I really like felt like God gave me. I was like, wow, he just gave me like one of the greatest blessings of all time, and that's being a father.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, wow, like this is incredible. It's a love that I've never been able to experience. Like, I have love for my siblings and my parents and my grandparents and my cousins and all family members, and even for my wife.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Court Chavis was here and he explained to me a covenant love versus like an agape love. He said with a wife, it's a covenant. Like, you make a choice, a decision to love her.
Yeah.
If she was to leave you, you would possibly make the choice not to love her anymore and move on.
Sure. But
with a child, you don't have any choice. And it's the only love that really helps us understand God's love for us. It's that agape love,
because
right?
they come out the womb loving
and you just love them.
Yes.
Like, you don't even know this kid.
Yeah.
And they're laying in this bed and you're looking at him, you're like, I love them. Like, they don't have to do anything for me to love them. I just love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's be honest, like, we like to say our marriage is unconditional love, but at times, like, sometimes it's not always. We have conditions, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying is right, but I'm saying sometimes we have that on each other.
That's real.
But with a child, like, there's zero conditions. They're going to break your heart. They're going to do things that you told them not to do.
Yeah.
You're going to love them. You know what I mean? You're going to tell them, like, don't come out of that room again. Like, otherwise you're in trouble. They come out of that room and you're like, they're still cute.
Yeah.
I still love them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm upset with you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and there'll be times where, like, the kids will come out and have one more thing to tell us.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, get your butts back in bed. And then my wife be over there laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? They're like, we just have the cutest kids. I love them so much. I'm like, I do. I love them too.
They are cute, man.
So now God's just blessing me with a family, and then we have Bo, who's our second born, and then now Vivian, who's our third. Yeah. So we got 2 boys and a girl. Yeah. And we're doing ministry together as a family. And my parents taught me that my first ministry is my family.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? So anything that I do in the church, anything I do outside the church, it's all because of my family. Yeah. And I'm doing it for them first, and I want them to catch on the way, maybe better than what I caught on at a young age. Like, sure. But I also am there to protect them from certain things, you know what I mean, within the church as well. But luckily we've created an environment, which you see here, which I think is why you have made the decision to make POP your home, and not just your home, but your wife's home and your children's home now. 100%. Because we've created an environment that's healthy for families.
Truly healthy.
Truly healthy.
Not like facade healthy, but like
it's the real deal.
Down to its core healthy.
Yep. It was built on, again, my grandparents and their love for people. Yep. That's really what POP has been built on. And I don't think you had the privilege of meeting my grandparents, but you now get to feel who they were, just by coming here, because that's what we have created. Or what they have created. And now we're just
never heard one bad thing about them.
And you never will. You never will.
I believe
there's nothing bad to say about them. No. Like, their arguments, like, were the cutest things. Like, when they would argue, we'd just be like, it was so funny. It was just, but then, it was the typical, like, older couple that have been married for 50 years arguments, right? Like, it was cute, you know what I mean? It was just like, Elaine, where did you put my pants? I'm like, Grandpa, those are your pants. Why does she have to be responsible for them? Like, but she's just like, you know where I put them. They're laying on the bed. Oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Then he would come in there and give her a little kiss, you know? That's awesome, it was the cutest thing. But, their ministry was so powerful. People still talk about their ministry and what they did, and traveling and pastoring, and
that's legacy.
It's legacy.
It's what we all strive for.
And now I have a heart for that, and I want to continue that. I want to continue being what they were. I want to people to see me, like, when I'm gone, like, as they see them. Yeah. Or I hope nobody says anything bad about me, right? Like, or doesn't have anything bad to say about me. Yeah. I'm sure there will be bad things, but that's I'll be all right.
You'll be all right. Well, that was actually, I'm glad you said that, because that was gonna kind of cue up my final question to you.
Let's do it.
Growing up in church, going through everything that you've gone through, that full circle, so to speak, coming back and leaving all of that behind, having that encounter with Christ, saying yes to your calling that he has for you, how is your mindset, and where do you shape your decisions around for the future.
Yeah.
Because before, and you've highlighted it throughout this whole podcast, it was you.
Yeah.
And when you're married, you have kids, when you're in ministry, your decision making is completely different from when it was just you. So how do you, and really I stage that question for somebody listening that may be at that kind of middle stage of that process that we laid out. I was like, what's my next move? How do I move forward? Where do I go from here? Because there's decision making skills that are incorporated with that.
Yeah. The first two words that come to mind are just let go. Let go. Let go of like your pride. Let go of like just being self-centered, and it's all about you and victimizing yourself and what you're entitled to. Just let it all go. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's all about Him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about God. It's all about the kingdom of God. It's all about His people.
Yeah.
Like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Actually, that's three words. I think I said it was two. Let it go. Like, it for me, it was just I was just holding on to so many things that just were so irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, I was living a life by choice.
Yeah.
Because I was holding on to things that didn't matter.
Yeah. Your values changed.
Your values changed, and so now, like, everything, every choice, every decision I make is thinking about Him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's thinking about the kingdom and what. Does this glorify Him? Is this what He would want me to do? And that's where I go back to prayer. Like, so if you let it all go, now you're going to God saying like, okay, I'm not a good decision maker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't make the best choices all the time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how spiritual you are, you're never going to make all the right choices for your own life or
Nobody's perfect.
Even decisions for others. So let it go. Allow God to lead and guide you and direct you in every step of the way.
Yeah.
So it's now. I don't want to have control or manipulate the direction of my life. Now I feel like God gives us that free will, but at the same time I want Him to tell me where to go.
Yeah.
So it's like complete opposite. It's a 180 turn, right?
Yeah.
Now I want to be accountable to people. Now I'm creating a circle of mentors in my life, like where I feel like God just brought people like your Terry Shocks, your Brock Chavis, my father-in-law Jeff Mallory, even my own father, our pastor Rob Bibb, Court Chavis. There's men in my life that I don't have to talk to every single day, but I can send them a text and I know I'm going to get a word of encouragement, or I can reach out to them with a question. I'm going to get the honest answer, which the old Robbie was like, I don't want to hear what they have to say because what they have to say isn't better than what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just let it go.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, about everything that I want for myself. Let God lead and guide you and put people in your life that are going to speak to you and move on. Like, move forward. Like, and it's all for the kingdom. It's all for His glory, and it's all for His will.
That's awesome, bro. I'm glad you came on here and shared this with people.
Oh, I'm so happy you did. You brought me on.
Yeah, this was a long time coming, but I'm hoping that it blesses people.
Me too.
I want to give you, and you can bounce off of that thought that you just shared right there, but I want to give you just the last couple moments here of the podcast before we close to encourage somebody, because I think your testimony can bless a lot of people, because a lot of people, it's relatable.
Yeah.
It's relatable to a lot of people and where they are in life. You blessed me, just me being here talking with you about it, man. So take the last couple minutes here, bro, and encourage somebody. Just final thoughts.
Yes. All right. I feel like we said a lot of good things, but just in closing, I want to go back to that anchored thought.
Yeah.
For anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a young person, it doesn't matter if you're an old person, it doesn't matter like where you're at in life.
Yeah.
Anchor yourself to God.
Yeah.
And that looks like prayer, fasting. That looks like reading His Word.
Yeah.
Spending time with Him.
Yeah.
Some people will anchor themselves to a church. Some people anchor themselves to a pastor. Unfortunately, those things may fail you one day.
Yeah.
And if you attach your walk with God to these things, they're going to fail you, and then you're going to associate your walk with God to those things. So when they do fail you, you're detached from a walk with God when it never was existent.
Yeah.
So make sure your walk with God is anchored.
Yeah.
And that's the best advice I think I can give, because you're going to make choices, you're going to make decisions, but you're only going to be able to go so far out of what you're anchored to.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So and it's always a lot easier to come back to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so much easier to go back to what you're anchored to.
Yeah.
But if your anchor's in all these other things, you're going to drift away from what's really important, what you should be anchored to, which is God directly.
That's good. That's good. Awesome, bro. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yes.
This is awesome. Listen, if this has blessed you, if this has encouraged you, if you know somebody that needs to hear this word, share the audio, share the video, get it out to them and encourage them, because we're all going through a process. We're all walking this walk that we call the faith walk. So we'll see you next time.